kind of rough not being in the sanctuary at the podium where all my stuff was. I had to make 2 trips to get everything rounded up after I'd done started twice. Today, I'm going to be reading and talking about Isaiah chapter 5 and try to do a little bit of explanatory knowledge from the bottom of the pages where there is some. So I'll start now with Isaiah chapter 5, which should have been out January 4th of 2025. And things are so backed up that I'm going to try and get the whole month of January done, recorded today, so it will go out on time, and try to get February started out on time. So if you'll bear with me, here we go. Isaiah chapter 5, verse 1. Now will I sing to my well-beloved a song of my beloved touching his vineyard. My well-beloved hath a vineyard in a very fruitful hill. The verse goes along with that. Comes out of Matthew chapter 21, verse 33. And that was a parable that I just read, verse 1. Here another parable. There was a certain householder which planted a vineyard and hedged it around about and digged a winepress in it and built a tower and let it out to his husbandman and went into a far country. Verse 2 says basically the same thing as what was in Matthew chapter 21, verse 33. And he fenced it and gathered out the stones thereof and planted it with choicest vine and built a tower in the midst of it and also made a winepress therein. And he looked that it should bring forth grapes, and it brought forth wild grapes. Verse 3, and now, O inhabitants of Jerusalem and men of Judah, judge, I pray you, betwixt me and my vineyard. Verse 4, what could have been done more to my vineyard that I have not done in it? Wherefore, when I looked that it should bring forth grapes, brought it forth wild grapes. And now go to, I will tell you what I will do to my vineyard. I will take away the hedge thereof, and it shall be eaten up, and break down the wall thereof, and it shall be trodden down. Verse 6, and I will lay it waste, and it shall not be pruned, nor digged, but there shall come up briars and thorns. I will also command the clouds that they rain no rain upon it. Verse 7, for the vineyard of Yahweh of hosts is the house of Israel, and the men of Judah his pleasant plant. And he looked for judgment, behold, oppression, for righteousness, but behold, a cry. Verse 8, woe unto them that join house to house, that lay field to field, till there be no place, that they may be placed alone in the midst of the earth. Verse 9, in mine ears, said Yahweh of hosts, of a truth many houses shall be desolate, even great and fair without inhabitant. Yea, 10 acres of vineyard shall yield one bath, and the seed of a homer shall yield an ephah. Homer and ephah and bath are all Israeli Hebrew measurements during that time, and they may still use them now. I don't know. I haven't been over there. Verse 11, woe unto them that rise up early in the morning, that they may follow strong drink that continue until night, till wine inflame them. The corresponding verse with that one can be found Proverbs chapter 31, verse 3. Give not thy strength unto women, nor thy ways to that which destroys kings. Not very explanatory, is it? Drink is like women, and they destroy the kings. The kings are what lost everything, basically. 512, and the harp and the viol, the tabret and pipe and wine are in their feast. But they regard not the work of Yahweh, neither consider the operation of his hands. Going back up to verse 9, where they give their measures. An omer is a dry measure about 68 U.S. gallons. A bath, liquid measure, about 6 U.S. gallons. An ephah, also a dry measure, about 4.8 U.S. gallons. Now to go on to verse 5:13. Therefore my people are gone into captivity, because they have no knowledge, and their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst. Note down at the bottom, Judah's failure to fall to Babylon. When Babylon first tried taking them. Witness verses to 5:13 or Hosea chapter 4 verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because you have rejected knowledge. I will also reject you, that you shall be no priest to me, seeing you have forgotten the law of your Elohim. I will also forget your children. The second verse can be found in Amos chapter 8 verse 11. Behold, the days come, says my sovereign Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh. (5:13), that's when they went into captivity. That was Judah's future fall to Babylon. 5:14, therefore the grave has enlarged herself and opened her mouth without measure, and their glory and their multitude, and their pomp and their rejoices shall descend into it. 5:15, and the mean men shall be brought down, and the mighty man shall be humbled, and the eyes of the lofty shall be humbled. Excuse me. But Yahweh of hosts shall be exalted in judgment, and El, that is holy, shall be sanctified in the righteousness. Then shall the lambs feed after their manner, and the waste places of the fat ones shall strangers eat. Verse 18, woe unto them that draw iniquity with cords of vanity and sin, as it were with a cart rope. Verse 19, that say, let him make speed and hasten his work, that we may see it, and let the counsel of the Holy One of Israel draw near and come, that we may know it. Chapter 5, verse 20, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Verse 5:21, woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sight. The witness verse to that one is Proverbs chapter 28, verse 26. He that trusts in his own heart is a fool, but who also walks wisely, he shall be delivered. Verse 22, woe unto them that are mighty to drink wine, and men of strength to mingle with strong drink, which justify the wicked for reward and take away the righteousness of the righteous from him. Therefore, as the fire devours the stubble and the flame consumes the chaff, so their root shall be as rotting, as their bosom shall go up as dust, because they have cast away the law of Yahweh of hosts and despised the word of the Holy One of Israel. Witness verse or explaining verse for that one can be found in James chapter 3, verse 6. And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among the members that defiles the whole body and sets on fire the course of nature. And it is set on fire in Gehenna. Second verse that witnesses that one's Revelations chapter 1, verse 5. And from Yeshua Messiah, who is the faithful witness and the first begotten of the dead and the prince of the kings of the earth, unto him that loved us and washed us from our sins in his own blood. Excuse me, it's getting dry. Therefore, in chapter 5, verse 25, therefore is the anger of Yahweh kindled against his people, and he has stretched forth his hand against them and has smitten them. And the hills did tremble, and their carcasses were torn in the midst of the streets. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. Verse 526, and he will lift up the ensign to the nations from far, and will hiss unto them from the end of the earth, and behold, they shall come with speed swiftly. Verse 27, none shall be weary, none nor stumble among them. None shall slumber nor sleep, neither shall the girdle of their loins be loosed, nor the latch of their shoes be broken. Verse 28, whose arrows are sharp, and all their bows bent. Their horses' hoofs shall be counted like flint, and their wheels like a whirlwind. Verse 29, their roaring shall be like a lion, they shall roar like young lions. Yea, they shall roar and lay hold of the prey, and shall carry it away safe, and none shall deliver it. Verse 30, and in that day they shall roar against them like the roaring of the sea, and if one look unto the land, behold darkness and sorrow, and the light is darkened in the heavens thereof. That concludes the reading of Isaiah chapter 5. Thank you, and y'all have a blessed day.